Joy boy, to think you left it all here in such a funny, ridiculous way. I'm too late, aren't I? Or maybe I'm just far too early. To leave a treasure of this magnitude behind, what a life you must have led. I really wish I could have been born in your era. We could have shared a drink, swapped stories, and maybe I could have understood the weight you carried. You truly are something else. Can we just talk about how that one line from volume 96 completely shattered every theory we had about the Pirate King? For years, we imagined Roger standing at the end of the world with a triumphant, world-conquering smirk. But the reality was so much more human and so much more emotional. In volume 96, we finally witness the moment Roger reaches Laugh Tale and expresses pure, unadulterated admiration for the hero of the Void Century. He didn't just find a treasure, he found a legacy that made him wish he lived 800 years in the past. This fact completely flipped my interpretation of Roger's entire journey. I used to think Roger was the peak of the One Piece world, the ultimate goal. But after seeing his reaction to Joy Boy, it feels like Roger was actually the world's biggest fan of the real protagonist. He wasn't looking to be the greatest, he was looking for the truth that Joy Boy left behind. How does that change the way you see Roger's smile at his execution? Do you think he was smiling because he achieved his dream, or because he knew he had successfully passed Joy Boy's message to the next generation? Think about the density of that moment in volume 96. Roger calls the final island Laugh Tale, because the story of Joy Boy was just that funny. We always focus on the One Piece as a physical object, but what if the real treasure is just the sheer absurdity of the truth? Roger laughed until he cried, and that laughter is what started the Great Pirate Era. It's a cycle of joy that spans centuries. I personally found it incredibly moving that the man who had everything, wealth, fame, power, found his greatest satisfaction in a story from a man he never met. Does the idea of the One Piece being something that causes laughter satisfy you, or were you hoping for something more serious or powerful? We have to consider the inherited will here. Roger couldn't be the one to fulfill Joy Boy's promise because he was too early, but he spent his final days ensuring someone else would be. Everything from his surrender to his final words was a calculated move to bridge the gap between Joy Boy and the chosen one, who would eventually arrive. It turns Roger from a simple conqueror into a guardian of history. It makes the connection between Roger, Joy Boy, and eventually Luffy feel so much more inevitable. Does this realization make Roger's death feel more like a beginning than an end to you? This connection is the soul of the series. Roger's admiration for a man from 800 years ago proves that dreams truly never die as long as someone is there to inherit them. He laughed at the end because he knew the story wasn't over. He knew that even if he couldn't see the dawn of the world, someone else would, carrying the same D and the same smile. It's not just a pirate story anymore, it's a grand relay race across time. I want to know your deepest theories on this. If Roger wished he was born in Joy Boy's era, what does that imply about the world 800 years ago? Was it a world of absolute freedom, or was the struggle even more intense than what we see now? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Was Roger's laughter a sign of joy, or a realization of a bittersweet irony? Let's break down the true nature of the man who laughed at the end of the world.